Oh my god, people, what have I done? Stay tuned and you'll see. Alright, so if you couldn't tell from the intro what bike I recently got in this new bike reveal video, I'll just jump right into it. There it is, everybody. It's a 2018 DRZ400 Supermoto. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, didn't you just have one of those? But let's get on the bike and we'll talk about it. Alright, so you're probably all thinking, what the hell, MotoCookie? Didn't you already have a DRZ and didn't you sell it because you wanted something different? Yeah, I did. Quick little backstory. You know, I had a 2016 DRZ Supermoto, fully modded out, you know, besides digging into the engine. And I was really wanting more. You know, I've primarily come from riding sport bikes. I like to go fast. So I was kind of itching for more. So if you haven't seen any of my previous videos, I bought a 2017 Yamaha FZ09. And, you know, if any of you really remember, I bought that bike back in, I want to say, the end of April. End of April, end of March. So I only had it maybe 6 months at that. I think it was 6 months. And I just really wasn't riding it a whole lot. You know, I only put 3,000 miles on it. That might sound a lot to some people, but for me, that's nothing. That's low miles. And I don't know, I was really missing a dual sport. And I looked around at all these different dual sports. You know, I was looking at a WR, I looked at a Beta Cross Trainer, fully street legal. I looked at a WR450, already street legal package on it, and Supermoto wheels. I would just have to go through all the legality to actually street legal it. It had the kit on it, you know, it had the horn, the turn signals, all that stuff. But I still would have to go through the legality to street legal it. Well, come to find out in Wyoming, nobody really knows what the hell is going on as far as street legal a dirt bike. Most of them say, if the title says for off-road use only, it's going to stay that way. So basically, unless you find a bike that's been grandfathered in, you're not going to street legal a dirt bike out of here. You might get around it with some counties, but for the most part, it's not going to happen. So, you know, that made my other options go towards the new CRF450L, or like a KTM 500, a Husqvarna 500. I prefer the Husqvarna 500 with the linkage suspension. But at the end of the day, I was just like, man, I ride too much to have to worry about my valves every 1,500 to 2,000 miles. Now, I know they say that's more if you're pinning the RPMs and you're racing it or whatever, but I just don't want to mess with it. You know, the DRZ I had about 9,000 miles on it or so. Never had to check the valves. All I did was change the oil. My speedometer cable broke on it, but you know, that was my fault. So I mean, I had no maintenance to do other than oil changes, which is super simple on this bike. So I kept debating with myself. I'm like, man, I don't want a DRZ again. There's reasons why I sold the DRZ, but I watched this moto vlogger and he's got a couple motorcycles and a couple more powerful motorcycles than a DRZ. He has a DRZ, but he's got a bike more powerful than his DRZ. And at the end of the day, he said if he had to get rid of every bike except for one, he would keep the DRZ. And that made me stop and think, like, out of all my bikes I've had, the DRZ that I had was the only bike I ever regret selling. I never regret selling any other bikes I've ever had. I don't regret selling my FZ09. I'm so glad I sold it, to be honest. Don't get me wrong, it's a great bike. I'm not knocking it in any way. But I am glad I sold it and got this. I mean, I'm already just so ecstatic. I've got 57 miles on it. I bought it with 0.3 of a mile. The dealership sold it to me for $6,400. plus tax and that crap. But I still come out cheaper than what this thing actually MSRP's for. The 2019s are coming out, so he kind of cut me a deal on it. But, you know, I'm just happy with it. You know, the DRZ has its shortcomings, don't get me wrong. And I'm a big Suzuki guy, and I will tell you it has its shortcomings. But it is a great bike. Like I said, it has its issues, but at the end of the day, it is just such a fun bike. It shouldn't be as fun as it is, but it is. So I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna buy me another one and call it a day. You know, I don't really like riding the highway, and out here you've got to jump on the highway, the interstate, to go ride some nice roads. So, you know, I would just rather have something like this where I can ride the blacktop and dirt roads. And I plan on putting some TKC 80 tires on it probably next year. You know, it's almost October, so this riding season's coming to an end pretty soon out here in Wyoming. So, you know, that's one of my ideas for next year, is get a skid plate, handguards. But I am ordering some stuff for it. I already did a few little things to it. I'm gonna be ordering an exhaust and a jet kit, and I already got most all the cosmetic stuff ordered that I want. So this is the new bike, everybody. I hope I hope you like it. I'm sure you're gonna rag on me or tell me I'm an idiot because I used to have one and now I have another one. But hey, they're such a fun bike, and if you've never ridden a supermoto, even this one, is outdated as it is and lower on power, it's just so much fun. Just give it a try. Do yourself a favor and give it a try. But plan on seeing more in the future of this bike. Like I said, the FZ09 is gone, so that is going to be gone from my channel. I have one more video to come up. I'm going to do a 3,000 mile review of the bike, but plan on seeing a lot of this bike in the future. Like I said, I have all the mods coming. I don't think I'm going to do any how-to videos. There's plenty of how-to videos out there on mods, but that's all I got, guys. I hope you like the bike. So I love the DRZ. I'm a big Suzuki guy. It has its shortcomings, but at the end of the day, I just want a simple bike that I can have fun on, and I know I can have fun on this bike because I had a lot of fun with the one I used to have. So that's all I got. Thank everybody for watching, subscribing, liking. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed, please feel free to. If you don't want to, you don't want to. It's your choice. But thanks for watching, everybody.